Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. We will start our anatomy lessons from the reference use simile. We will start from the upper limb anatomy from chapter 4, upper limb anatomy. First of all, what are the learning objectives of this chapter? In this chapter, we will mostly focus on brachial plexus. Then we will talk about muscle innervation. Then we will have other concepts, sensory innervation and nerve injuries. Then we will have to discuss about upper and lower brachial plexus lesions. Then we have to talk about the lesions of branch of the brachial plexus, which are radial nerve, musculocutaneous nerve, axillary nerves, and all the branches which are arising from the brachial plexus. About the lesions or the injuries we will talk about later. And other arterial supply and major anastomosis of the upper limb. Then the carpal tunnel, which is a very important part in the upper limb at the wrist joint, which located. Other concept is about rotator cuff, which is made of 4 muscles. And lastly, we will have some short discussion about the radiology of the upper limb. Now, the brachial plexus. The brachial plexus is a network of nerves which is located at the axilla, and this provides the motor and sensory innervation to the upper limb, and it is made of ventral rami of C5 through T1 spinal nerves. So now we have to clear the concept of ventral rami. In this diagram we can see a dissected spinal cord from superior view in order to distinguish what is ventral rami. Whenever we cut or dissect the spinal cord, we can see 2 things inside this. One is gray matter, which is butterfly shaped. Other is white matter. The gray matter is the collection of the bodies of the neurons, but the white matter, which is posterior, lateral, and at the ventral part of this gray matter at the spinal cord, it is the collections of the axons and dendrites of the neurons. From this gray matter, first of all is that gray matters have a ventral horn and posterior horn. From this ventral horn, one anterior root of the spinal nerve and posterior root of the spinal nerve from the posterior horn arising, and then they making their a ganglia. From this ganglia, which is also the collection of cell bodies, a ramus, which is posterior ramus, and other is ventral ramus, they are arising. They are the nerves, they are the spinal nerves which are arising from the spinal cord, and ventral ramus goes and it we can say innervate the limbs. And now there we have the brachial plexus. So the roots of the brachial plexus are arising from the ventral ramus. From this brachial plexus, 5 major nerves arising. These 5 major nerves, 3 nerves are arising from the anterior division, and 2 other nerves are arising from the posterior division. 2 are from posterior division. The 3 which are arising from the anterior division, they are musculocutaneous nerve, median nerve, and ulnar nerve. These 3 nerves are arising from the anterior division fibers of the brachial plexus. So as they are arising from the anterior division fibers, so they have to innervate the anterior compartment of this limb. So they have to innervate the anterior arm, anterior forearm, and the palmar compartments. And these nerves which are arising from anterior division and innervating the anterior compartment, they are function as flexors. They are flexors. It means they are flexing the joints. And the 2 other nerves which are arising from the posterior division fibers, they are axillary nerve and radial nerve. So as they are arising from posterior division, they have to innervate the posterior compartment of the limb, like the posterior arm, posterior forearm compartments. And they are function mainly as extensors. So the nerves which are arising from posterior division, they act as extensors, and the nerves which are arising from the anterior division, they act as flexors. The other concept in this diagram, we have that it is the brachial plexus, shape of the brachial plexus, how it made. The brachial plexus has three parts: the roots, the trunks, divisions, and cords. There are 5 roots, then 3 trunks, then 6 divisions, and 3 cords, and lastly 5 terminal nerves are arising from this brachial plexus, and they are the terminal nerves. So as I mentioned that the brachial plexus arises from the ventral ramus of C5 through T1. They are all the ventral ramus at there. Then these ventral ramus are itself the ventral rami are itself the roots that we can see there, the 5 roots: C5, C6, C7, C8, and T1. They are the roots. Then these roots are making the trunks. The superior root and the superior trunk is made of the roots of C5 and C6. The C7 ventral ramus by itself making another trunk, which is middle trunk, and then from the combination of C8 root and T1 root, we can see another trunk, which is inferior trunk. So it was the concept of trunks. Then these trunks dividing into 2 divisions. Every trunk have 2 divisions. One is anterior division, other is posterior division. Anterior division are determined there as blue, and posterior divisions are colored there in red color. Then we can see it is the anterior division and posterior division, anterior and posterior, and posterior and anterior division of the inferior trunk. So first of all, we will say that the posterior division from superior trunk, middle trunk, and inferior trunk, these 3 making a cord by the name of posterior cord. It is called posterior cord because it is in the posterior part of the brachial artery. There will be brachial artery, and posterior the brachial artery we can see the posterior cord. And the lateral cord is made from the anterior division fibers of superior trunk and middle trunk, which is this one, lateral cord. And the medial cord by itself, the anterior division of inferior cord making one other it was inferior trunk making medial cord. And now we will go ahead and we will see the 5 terminal nerves. We mentioned previously that we had 5 terminal nerves. The 2 terminal nerves were arising from posterior cord or from posterior division, which were axillary and radial nerves that we can see them. This is radial nerve and this is axillary nerve, which is both in red color. It means that they are arising from the posterior divisions. The musculocutaneous nerve, median nerve, and ulnar nerve, they are the 3 nerves which are arising from the anterior division fibers of this plexus. The musculocutaneous nerve is the nerve which is arising from the lateral cord of this plexus. The median nerve arising from both lateral and medial cord, which is this one and this one. We can say for this the lateral root of the median nerve and the medial root of the median nerve, which both making a nerve by the name of median nerve, and they are the anterior divisions. And the other nerve is ulnar nerve, which is also arising from the anterior division and arising from the medial cord. the nerves which we mentioned there, they were just the terminal nerves, but with that we have some other nerves as well, that they are arising from the roots or trunks and from cords, which are called collateral nerves. The main collateral nerve is called lung thoracic nerve. It is one of the collateral nerves which arise from the C5, C6 and C7 roots, and going to muscles which are the muscles who are innervating by them. Other nerves are there that we can see: the suprascapular nerve. This suprascapular nerve is arising from the superior trunk. Then some other nerves which are there. We have a nerve which is called dorsal scapular nerve at there. Other nerves are from the lateral cord. At the lateral cord, which is this nerve, we have this lateral pectoral nerve, and in the medial cord, this nerve, it is the medial pectoral nerve. And in medial cord we have two other nerves, this one and this one, this one which is called the medial and brachial cutaneous nerve, which going and innervating, give sensory innervation to the medial skin of the arm. And this one which is called medial antebrachial cutaneous nerve, going to the forearm, at the medial side of the forearm, and give sensory innervation to the medial side of the forearm. The three other nerves from posterior cord, they are this one which is called upper subscapular nerve, and this one which is called middle subscapular nerve, and this one which is lower subscapular nerve. They are the nerves which mostly go to the subscapularis muscle and innervating that muscle, and with that this nerve, which is a middle subscapular nerve, this nerve is also called thoracodorsal nerve, and this nerve is going to the latissimus dorsi muscle, and this nerve is innervating the latissimus dorsi muscles. These were some collateral nerves with the terminal nerves. In other video we will discuss about every nerve separately and muscle innervation, that which nerve innervate which muscle.